Ladies and gentlemen, I thought I didn't start stream for a second, so I almost had a heart attack. But for those of you who don't know, I'm Sino, and that's Janet. Usually, it's Chaka in her place, but we get different experiences for different days. Janet, how are you feeling to be able to do a playoff game today?
Great, I'm super excited. And today we have Overtake versus Misfits for our first round of playoffs.
Now, two teams that don't need an introduction. Actually, Overtake does need an introduction. I have not been able to cast them. We were talking about how they're more in the Fortnite scene. But for Misfits, we have had some interesting casts. These guys have, I think they've lost one game. No, two games in the group stage. But when we've gotten to cast them, they won their first game 7-0 and their second 7-2. In 2 weeks, they dropped 2 rounds compared to the 14 that they've won. They have done a great job, and I'm excited to see what they have on the board for the day. But it isn't Swiss stage. Finally, for Baller League, we finally get BO3s. I mean, I've been waiting for this moment. I've been waiting to say we're going to playoffs. And without further ado, let's take a look at the playoff bracket. As you can see, we have our quarterfinal 2 being played out right now, which will be Overtake Sector versus Misfits. And we will have Outlast Black, NXG Gold's games streamed on this channel, if I'm not mistaken, on Saturday and Sunday. And Pack Runners versus USAE. We'll see if we'll cast that. Not really sure, but I kind of have a feeling I know who's going to win it. So we want to cover the more comp games. But Janet, since we're here, I have a question. Who do you think's going to take this game?
You know, I am a little biased towards Overtake. I have some, dear friends on that team. And, I'm not a big console fan. So I think I will have to take Overtake on this one. And I'm excited to see what Misfits can do. Okay, but there's some console. And that's my point.
So you're saying I come from console. Are you just on the caster too?
Maybe. But I just want to say that, last time I was here, I did see Misfits 7-0. I believe it was BBG. So I want to see.
Oh, you were here for that game.
I was. I want to see them against a team that maybe is more up to their par, and a tight field 3. Because we're in field 3s now. We're in playoffs. I'm excited for 3 maps. Hopefully.
Now, I feel like this is a little bit of like a rip moment since we have so much time. It is it's unfortunate to not see F5 on here because I think those guys are one of the most frequent teams I cast, and it is very, very unfortunate that we haven't
why
seen
they're not
F5.
Here?
Well, all of their org stuff, and I think their orgs come back, so I hope they get re-picked up because I want to see like Stealth. I want to see Z-Man. I want to see everybody back in Tier 4. They're absolute goats. I love those guys. But now I hope. But we have to focus more on this game. As you said before, we have 3 maps. Now, these 3 maps are going to be very demanding because you aren't given a second chance. There is no lower bracket. You're going to have Consulate, Cafe, and Chalet. And the main thing that is in common with all 3 maps is there is so much real estate. There's 3 floors. There is so much to conquer. And at any turn, if there is any mistakes made by either side, I feel like either team is just going to hop on that mistake and exploit that thread until they can find that round win.
Yeah, and these are some big maps, as you said. And I'm excited to see how they can take it. And I believe it is Misfits on attack for our first map today. Is that correct, Sino?
I'm taking a look right now. Yes, Overtake starts on Overtake starts on the attack, and Misfits start on the defense. With Overtake taking the defensive on overtime.
All right, so are we ready for Consulate?
I feel like it's going to be more demanding in terms of whoever starts on that defending side with Misfits. They kind of play a little bit of disruptive siege, or cheesy siege, as they call it in the upper stages of the game. I mean, the way they play is like how, let's say, Yer played in the qualifiers. That's a tier 2 team. Don't want to skite if you guys don't know who Yer is. But they are very aggressive at moments, and when they find a thread, they are not stopping until everyone is dead. So I'm quite interested to see how they'll play this out, and I do want to see how they'll be able to address this later on, because if they drop that first map, I am concerned because this is Overtake's map, but we've seen Misfits on Cafe multiple times, and I'm more than confident they can win pick.
No, I certainly agree, and obviously we do want to see all maps for today, so hopefully Overtake I can have a good attacking first half. All right.
Now, while we wait for these guys to get into the game, now, if we get all 3 maps, I don't even know how it's going to work if we go to all 3 maps, because I feel like it's such a wide variety of gameplay between the first and third map. It'll be quite interesting to see how these teams play out, because Consulate, yes, is a demanding map, and it's also large alongside with Chalet, but Cafe is going to be that map that really decides the pacing for the rest of the series. Are these teams going to fall to the external play? Are these teams going to struggle with the amount of pressure being mounted before these attackers get in the building? And these are questions to be answered as we go on throughout the series, because this can happen on Consulate, but that happens with vertical pressure. And for Chalet, yes, external pressure exists, but so does the vertical pressure. So when you bring in all of these variables, it starts to become more challenging. And I really am wondering what team's going to prevail, because I'm more on the fence. Now, I've seen Misfit win a good amount of rounds, and that's why I give them the benefit of the doubt. But Overtake doesn't look like a bad team, and with Snecky on their team as well, I feel like they have an even better chance to take this home.
Yeah, and I mean, from the gameplay that I've seen from Misfits, they seem very aggressive. And I want to see how Overtake kind of deals with this aggression from Misfits. I feel like Cafe kind of allows you to be more aggressive, and um, the timing kind of works in the favor of aggression. But, I'm excited to see the rest of the maps.
I feel like Consulate being such a demanding map is going to be very interesting because I want to see who swings what. I want to see if Misfits are going to change their overall approach to the game just because of how aggressive they get. And honestly, I actually am not too mad with how aggressive they get because it's sometimes just refreshing to see players just swing and call it a day. And one of those players is Devin. Sadly, he's not here.
Right.
Evan's
Not
going
here
to be
today.
on the board. Yeah, but he's going to get another console player in his substitute position. So to see him play, I'm quite interested. And I hope that they consistently bring this level of aggression because they barely qualified for playoffs. Like, their last game went best case scenario where they destroyed the round differential and qualified barely. And
oh my
I love
god,
that.
blessed.
These teams are really trying their best, and I want to see them do well. But again, you also have to say the same for Overtake because they weren't struggling at all.
Right, and this is a new roster. This whole Overtake roster picked up by a new org in the Siege scene, and I'm excited to see what they can do. All right, so these are our players for today. As you can see, Jevin's not here, and I'm excited.
Now, ban's always the most important thing when it comes to a map like Concert. You really want to dictate the pacing of the game. So with Monty being taken care of, it's just textbook because you just don't want this player to be all up in your face while the pressure is being applied. And with a Misfits defense, they're going to want to have as much real estate as possible. They're going to want to be able to move around freely, whether it's going to be on a Vigil or a Roamer. That seems to still be a question that's pending, but we know their overall ideas, and I am very curious to see how they will approach it because it looks like by taking care of the shield ops, they just want to swing everything they can.
No, 100% agreed. Overtake needs to, take some space in this map, but let's see what operators they pick to, enable that. All right.
Now it looks like the highs are starting to flood in, and as I'm
friendly
realizing,
highs.
friendly highs. As I'm realizing, I did get one of the players wrong on the rosters. It's Tweety actually, and I thought it was Laser.
I see.
I got one team. I didn't even get Misfits right. Prism is going to be the captain of the day. So I'm interested to see how they'll be calling off the shots here, or it could just be captain because he's listed like that in the OPL. It could just be listed for that for fun. But we'll see because I feel like you can really see when a teammate is calling the shots and just not being complicit within their team play. So only a matter of time before it'll tell. But Misfits head on over to the uppermost floor, second floor, as they'll play out the office's site here. Tachanka, Goyo, these guys are going to be playing out heavy denial. Be able to assist that with the Azami as well. They want to deny any form of access.
Yeah, and on the other side, we have Snecky on that Blackbeard. It's gonna be a fight against Snecky versus the Fire, huh? And we see them pushing towards admin. Default admin take, you want to open up the windows, make sure there's no one admin, make sure there's no one visa, and clear this out before jumping straight on it. And we already see Prism has a lineup for that Chanka Fire. Timmy getting aggressive here.
Yeah, might work out in their favor. They're using that Kiba barrier to block off that window into managers in case they need to seek refuge back in the site here. But Timid needs to get aggressive to try to win his one. Doesn't work out in his favor. Valen and Rai double down, get 1 and 2, and they'll open up the series with a 5v3 as they'll open up almost all of that admin side here, and they're allowed to take their sweet old time because if they kill this man sitting close, they can formulate a play here, but Rai doesn't need that. He's murdered the whole team, and his Warden's caught on the back foot. Already a highlight reel for Rai as he murders and runs through all of Misfits. They don't know anything that's just happened to them, and they'll lose that first round in a blink of an eye.
That was really unfortunate. Misfits knew that they were coming admin, playing that Azami, playing that Goyo in admin. but unfortunately not winning out their battles. I want to see um, the Zombie and Goyo swing together on these players. It felt like they were kind of playing that 1vx.
Yeah.
All right, nice little shot by Rai. Well played, well played.
Shot. It was shots, plural. That man just killed everybody. 4 kills in 30
right
seconds. I thought they were going to take
right
one kill. I just thought he was going to get 1 kill, reset, take the time to drone out and reset. But no, that man demolished anybody who walked in front of him. And honestly, that's kind of how you dissect admin. But I didn't think it was going to be that fast and that aggressive, considering Misfits is the team that does that aggressive play. I thought it was going to be the team that usually is very aggressive, learns how to counter said aggression. But it's only the first round. Yeah, not this time at all. So it is only the first round, so I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. But I do hope this basement site gives them the upper hand to be able to try to get themselves on the board here.
Yeah, and we'll see the Tuberao and Kai come out. So hopefully make it a little bit harder for Overtake to kind of take that space. It is downstairs after all. We're working towards getting that vert. As you know, we've said before, Constant's a very, very vert-heavy map. And we see some Misfits players playing on that 3rd floor, making sure that, you know, make it as hard as possible for Overtake to grab that vertical.
I feel like Grim's going to be that 3rd ban, not because of the operator, maybe because of the operator, but also because of the man who's manning the operator as well. Now, for a map like Consulate, you want to avoid early deaths, and it looks like Misfits on that first round missed that memo here. Prism finally giving his team the step in the right direction. C4 allows Snecky to just walk on in. A refrag from IX as well allows the isolation upstairs, but he'll get easily traded out here. A positive trade for Misfits, but a 3-way pinch between the Overtake players will allow themselves to take off the 2 roamers. Now one completely below, and one of them just lurking on the stairs, waiting for somebody to make that mistake. But granted the amount of intel and time they have, this might lean towards the favor of Overtake, as their 1 man that is damaged is the only downfall of this heavy aggression.
Yeah, do they have info on Timid holding that yellow stairs? We're not sure. And the site is basement, so we have to make our way down to the 1st floor and start making the vert there. We still have the ace up. Maybe we can get the wall, get the hatch, but we drop it. There's still someone on yellow stairs, guys.
Yeah, I know. This is so bad. This is so bad. You usually look
Wait,
for
we're gonna have a counter?
You usually need the gridlock or the air jabs for this specific reason. Timid gets his one and just gets out of there. He knows everyone's going to be hungry for the kill. Hello? Valen equips the buckshot, but not fast enough. He didn't expect Timid to just park out in the corner and swing out here. Quick turn of the flick. It'll completely turn around from a 3-on-3 to a Snecky 1v3. The man that was the most damaged for his team is actually going to be the one that is the last alive here. And with just 35 seconds left, he has to be able to pick up that case, fry a player who's above, below, and on the same floor as him. And I feel like this is going to be an impossible task.
Yeah, this is really scary for Snecky. After all, he's so low. All he can do is drop hatch here, and Prism's watching that. It's a very clear angle for Prism. I think Overtake was really struggling with isolating the ones there on upstairs. I believe it was Mute and another player. And it was just really hard for them to double swing these players. And I don't know, they were struggling. They were struggling, and they got, you know, they eventually get 3rd floor. But obviously they had to make their way down. And Misfits played that really well with the amount of aggression on that yellow stairs. I was honestly really impressive.
I mean, the chat is really showing their support for Timid. They really want this guy to break 20 this
game. Okay, they're calling it.
They're calling it. I don't know if it's his real name, but they're calling him Robert in the chat. And I feel like for the remainder of this game, I'm going to call him Robert. But as they play it out, I mean, that's a beautiful round to get back into it. Now, I don't know where Prism found that first kill. I feel like there was a lurking player on that server side that Overtake just couldn't account for in time. And by the time he looked to win his one, Misfits capitalized, took that first pick. And as they addressed that 3rd floor as well, Overtake did very well in being able to even it out here. But you guys lost 2 picks, and then from there, the snowball effect made you lose the 3rd and the 4th. And the quick bursts of aggression just doesn't work against the team that expects aggression, eventually leading to the round loss. So now it's 1-all. Now they'll be defending Grand Piano as they just don't take the time to be able to make a mistake on one side. They'll just move on to the next through the cycles and hopefully continue for their better record.
Yeah, I really like that. Kind of resetting, you know. In first round, it's okay. We're gonna, you know, figure out how Overtake takes this. And we're slowly opening up this pro wall here. They have a castle setup, and a mirror setup. And it's gonna be a little bit hard to take second floor. I think they're fighting for this this area, the space that they really, really want. Little
C4 looking
C4?
to go loose. Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for the action.
Yeah.
Was it our game previously where we saw like 3 C4s being sent up vert every single round and none of it worked out on the lineups on Chalet?
Yes, I believe so. It was the lineups. Yeah, I think it was on Chalet. And no.
That game was hilarious.
Call goes out though. Maybe they
Try.
can do something off of this.
Went for the, why would you go for closet? He really thought he
That's
had
sight!
the exposed play, but Snecky doing a great job being able to find refrag. NZ taking damage as well. Snecky finishes off his kill, finds that second onto Prism as well.
Ooh.
Beautifully done by the men to be able to even it out here, but will be refragged up by Drainy, the substitute himself, and now left all out at level here. The man who found 4 kills in the first round, we thought he was going to be on a hot one for the remainder of the game, but hasn't been able to find joy since then. Just 90 seconds and it'll all slow down.
Yeah, they're making their way over, but those zombie Kiba barriers are just tough. He had the whole setup over here, a little fort. Yeah, Valen doesn't know what to do. He has no more Ash charges, can't open those up. Tweety does find one though.
Gonna go straight for the melees as well here. It looks like the uniform push onto the site is going to be the name of the game here. No projectiles from Ash, meaning she can't burn the Mira.
No.
NZ, you were safe. Why give up? He's
What?
just gonna swing into the middle of the room, get exposed for it, and punished. I2KC left by his lonesome, working that verticality very well, might I add. He'll find that first, and now being put in a 1vx here, he needs to be able to time this perfectly, because while this plant goes down, you can make it a 1v1 and then isolate from then on. But with the utility in your favor, it becomes so realistic to be able to do so. But can you do it in a timely manner? Can you get into the site here without being caught out here? Now Brava exposed, but is going to win that gunfight. That DMR, make no mistake, will delete you from the server on the receiving end of it. Beautiful receiving shots, and Overtake will take the round.
Beautiful shots. That was really well played. Yeah, I mean, like, it didn't look very good for Overtake in the mid round, no. But they figured out, you know, lobby is kind of the way to go. And they opened up the wall with Ace. It might have been muted actually, my bad. But I don't know. Losing the zombie in sight when you have that Mira, come on. We know that Misfits, we can expect that aggression, but I don't know. I don't know if it was right to walk up there.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that Mira fully in control verticality in your possession, and you just start breakdancing in the middle of the site. It's a questionable play, but I mean, it was a play nonetheless. He paid the price for it. They lost the round. Overtake take the round regardless, but still, Misfits are still able to bring back the rounds. They're a resilient team. We've seen it time and time again where they're very good. Yeah, they're a very good team, so I know what we can expect. Like, when we look at the upper hand side of the table for Swiss, you have a team like Packrunners is a team that really knows how to apply the pressure when needed, but since in T4, not all the same teams play in the same league. Like, yes, you'll have your same select, but still, like, we don't have TBD here. You don't have Nyx in this league. There's so many different things that can happen. There's so many different dynamics that I feel like really anything can happen. It's not a sure thing on which team will win.
100% agreed. And, you know, like, there's constantly people being moved around and new teams forming. And, you know, Overtake themselves are a new team. I'm not sure how new Misfits are, but, you know, working things out, I think that's the important part, getting the reps in. And I just want to point out, so, you know, do you see this lineup on the attack?
Oh, Lord, I wasn't even paying attention. I was seeing if there was any audio leaking. Oh, my God. And it looks like they're not even going to go for the main window as well.
No.
They're going to send it close. And NZ being close here is the win factor. The win con, they have the Shmika's pointed all the way down, but he's so close, it'll make sense that he could just turn his ability right back onto that window if they see that plant coming down. But this Warden needs to preserve this ability. And the Amaru is going to take 50 shots to the face if she gets onto the receiving end of this. But it looks like they're going to slow things down and approach from the admin side.
I like that bait and switch. They honestly, Misfits seem really ready for it.
Oh, no.
But, things are going towards Misfits' favor on admin side instead this time.
God, I told you the aggression sometimes works out in their favor. Prism takes care of the first, and Raya is down. Put in a horrible spot to be picked up here. You're really playing with your life if you go for that res, and Prism doesn't have an intention on stopping anytime soon. Is going to be punished for that. Opening up the site completely. Valen, what a shot! He'll open everything up. ITQC finishes this player from earlier on to be able to try to even out the man count. We'll get another one to double down, but Valen is triple dipping. He'll take care of everybody within the vicinity, and we'll be leaving it at a 2v2. It's left out at leveled. What a comeback here for Overtake, and they're now given the time to be able to slow down and approach this site.
Trini holding this long desk angle. Found a Faith Valen, who just murked 3 guys off of the board. Confidence is high, but they need to figure out to clear the sky.
Oh, what a shot.
Tweety gets him.
The ace going to be deprived from the first, and Tweety is going to double up to get 2. Oh my god, a beautiful performance from the 2 players. Absolute domination, whether it's the ones, whether it's getting in the building and really finding the gaps to hit. What a play from Overtake Sector to be able to double down and build up that lead to 2. They suffered the first pick, they suffered the first 2 picks, and somehow they come back from it due to Valen's amazing resiliency. Isolates the first and just walks up and shuts out that man like nothing ever happened.
Valen just pre-fired absolutely everything and it works. With that gun, there's just so many bullets in it, right? And I think he played that beautifully. Even though, you know, the beginning of that push didn't seem like it was going towards Overtake's favor. You know, wasting a little bit of util. I'd like the bait and switch though. The bait and switch from Overtake. For Misfits, they kind of did expect them to go that connector window, but they don't fly in. They go in through admin instead and clean it up on that east side.
Yeah. I feel like when we see teams switch things up, it's usually not on the higher levels of Siege. Like, yes, it's more, it happens more on the higher level of Siege, but you don't see it that much in Tier 4. And I feel like you have to give credit where credit is due. They recognized there was pressure mounted. There was a Warden and a Tachanka waiting close. So they said, okay, we are just going to flip everything. We're going to push admin, hit a gap, find it. Even though they suffered 2 bodies, they didn't let that get in the way of their overall goal and continue to go. And due to one individual performance, they broke through that defense hold and got themselves a round pick. It's beautiful resiliency from Overtake, and now with a 2-round difference, they're looking to approach a 4-2 split, as that is the ideal here. But best case scenario, they maybe can get a 5-1.
Valen on our superstar from last round on Blackbeard, walking his way over already, and more C4 lineups perhaps from Prism. And Valen's already down here. We're making our way over from that Visa first floor as well, but there are some players on the second floor. Have to watch out for that.
Blackbeard establishing so much real estate by himself. Hello, no one is in server. No one's waiting to oppose, and nobody is playing on Spiral. Now, with nobody on Spiral, nobody in this vicinity, it makes it quite hard to be able to establish this side of the map here, but I imagine they have an idea or a plan. Prism's going to be approaching the verticality. If you guys didn't know, from the position he's currently in, he's able to play verticality onto that site door from Cafeteria, but that's if they even get there. One roamer has found 1 and 2. It's just a game of double kill for double kill, team for team, just going kill for kill, and they're going to continue to keep that pressure applied. Valen needs to be able to isolate his ones here, but at this distance with this iron sight, it becomes a lot harder.
Yeah, Valen needs to go big again, force something to happen, or Sneaky walking up this locker hall. The third player, Tweety, is on the wall with a little peeky hole, but he gets what? And we're gonna be pushing in here.
He knows?
Oh no! What?
Beautiful, beautiful read from Valen here as he takes care of the key player that was holding sight. in the external rooms. Now, Valen now knows there has to be somebody on Spiral, considering there was a Vigil on that board. Will be hit by the F-Knot, but doesn't matter. Stecky has his back, and that's what I meant. When you have players that know what they're doing, they're always going to come in clutch here. NZ catches the man off guard, trying to plant on Pillar, now leaving a 2v2 situation. One man to play as the Halo above. Valen shuts out that man on sight here. This guy has been individually great. ITQC forced to drop that hatch, but no substance. Valen, 1 game and 1 kill off of finding 10 kills here as he's going nuclear every round, and that's a triple if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my goodness, the individual play, as you said before, Sino. The individual plays from these players, so well played. Valen, I like how they pushed up with that Blackbeard and took that space. Not only did, Valen obviously get those kills, he got in there, did the work, opened up those walls, and applied so much pressure.
You know, when you see a shield operator, you think, oh yeah, we're going to rely on the players to buddy check me as well. That didn't happen. It happened on Spiral to take care of Drainy, but Drainy was already below 20 HP. This man genuinely made a gap for himself and found 3 other kills for himself. It's genuinely insane. He's going crazy each and every round. 9-2, the man has been unstoppable, as now he looks to break that 10 kills right before that halftime. And Misfits, they're struggling to find an answer here. In Overtake Sector are overjoyed with the way they're playing on their own map.
Yes, and we're back on the tertiary site. And same deal. The castle, the Mira, I believe they also had that Lucian mute on the last time they were on this site. And it seemed like we were struggling to get second floor, I believe, for Overtake. But they did find success from the lobby side. We're going to be switching up our operators this time. We had the Ying, we had the Amaru, Glaz, and I think we'll be able to take the second floor. I believe with this Amaru they do want to grab it this time.
Quite interesting to see how they'll play this out, and I have no idea how this is going to play out here, just because Consulate has been such a, not a rare map, but it's been rare compared to the others we've seen. We've seen Nighthaven a lot. We've seen a lot of maps, but Consulate has been banned 57 times in the Swiss stages, and it's for a reason. Teams struggle when they get to this venue, but not for Overtake. For every kill they lose and every casualty they suffer, they will always find that refrag. But same for Misfits, 1 for 1 every single time. But you know what happens when you find all of this pressure? Oh my God, Snacky!
Wow.
For every moment of pressure they find, every refrag they find, they open up a gap. Admin's completely open now, and you saw AX taking that completely. But as that Kendall rains on in, there's no Warden on the board, allowing that Ying to fly on in. That shotgun in the close range, make no mistake, will shut you out. In ITQC, you have the protection of Amira, but you have the SMG-11 at the long range against a fully healthy Amaru here. But luckily for you, it's SMG-11 versus SMG-11. The clock continues to run down here. No head holes on that lunch area. It's going to be reinforced, which means Amaru's going to have to either take the ones or look for that case and try to put it down. But it looks like the former is completely out the question, considering that case is nowhere to be found here. No flashes, which means she's going to have to wrap around to this double.
And decides to go all the way around? Hey, you still have 3 Garo hooks. You can fly anywhere on this map. Consulate has so many windows. Yes, and I really like this maneuver, honestly. Diffuser is outside. Maybe he's gonna grab it? Let's see.
I know he is gonna grab it, but
sight, but
taking a sweet old time.
He has vert, and with all this time, like, the Mew is able to move around, and I think he's back on site already.
The way he's playing it, you would have thought this would be a second floor site. He is really being careful here, but yes, it's admirable you're being careful, but you're also sacrificing a lot of time, and I feel like he knows this. He's going to fully send it. Keep in mind, any shot from any gun at any distance in Amaru's arsenal will kill this Mew. You just need the intel to be able to find him, and he's seeking refuge behind a jammer right now with the bulletproof cameras assisting him. This is going to be very easy for Misfits to win, but also as easy to lose. They're very close to going into the red time, and Alex, if you continue to spend your time trying to break this cameraman, hello, just put the bomb down and maybe you'll have a great old time here, but still, they don't have the intel, which means it's an easy creep up. There's no verticality, there's no walls broken, but it's an easy denial. Very interestingly played out here. So many questions to ask, not enough time to ask them. Why not just go for the kills here? But
no.
Misfits will find a round in response, and it's exactly as I said. A 4-2 split is going to be the idea for Consulate, and Misfits now have their preferred side.
So, I think you are a prophet. A 4-2 split for Overtake. Now they're on defense. But I just want to highlight last round. There were frenzy of refrags across all the board. Throughout the whole map, there were just people killing each other and then getting the refrag right after. And came down to the 1v1, and Misfit takes it. I think they needed that round really just for
100%,
emotional, moral support. Honestly, like it was not looking great because they were. I'm not gonna try to say that they were tossing the rounds, but it looked like it was like the beginning of the round was going towards Misfits' favor, but Overtake just manages to figure it out at the end.
It really was demanding. It was demanding with the way they were playing. I don't think it was.
Right.
I don't think it was bad Siege, but I do think it was being consistently outplayed Siege. They were struggling to find anything at any moment, and they're really struggling to be able to do so. But it's changed, and I like that. I like how they managed to really take their time here, and for ITQC, it was really just about sitting in a corner and waiting it out.
Right.
And for Overtake Sector, a little bit interesting.
Spending the time. Yeah.
We're not the players, and we also have to be mindful that we also have a bird's eye view and wall hacks, so we can't be too judgmental. But when a man's 1 HP and you had the comms with that player who was down in CEO, you can just isolate and go for the kill. But he did a full rotation around and took 3 years to get to that point of the game, and it just didn't work out in his favor. 4-2 split for Misfits, and now it's much easier for them to be able to come back if they shut out Valen, because that guy's been on a heater since the first round.
Yeah, and, Rye did get, a 4K, a combo 4K in the first round, but his team has kind of disappeared. Hasn't gotten a kill since, and I just want to see him kind of warm up.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Wow. 4 kills in 5 rounds.
Yeah, that's quite unfortunate, but he just seems to get shot off every single round. There's a little vert on that basement door. See if they patch it out. Or if Drainy's gonna get his feet shot off.
Now, oh, please, guys, use the drones! Please! Valen. Oh, man. You feel like Valen is just... You feel like he knows everything 4 steps ahead. He's always reading the plays here. And Timid, I feel like, is going to be at a demise very soon. He's more focused on the barbed wire than the man that's sitting there. I feel like it was the jammer that was actually disrupting him from being able to either hear or see that man that was walking out. And it looks like this is just destruction for Misfits here. Their site imploding. They have nothing, no verticality. They haven't been able to win a 1. Their hard breach are dead. Now Nomad touching ground. But with the aggression coming from Overtake Sector, I feel like it'll all crumble down. 1 kill shy away from that flawless round. And as ITQC was temporarily fully blind, you will get that down onto Tachanka. But you don't even have enough bullets to finish him off. A beautiful flank, and it looks like Overtake Sector took that round loss with a pinch of salt as they come back hitting 10 times harder. And now they're 1 off that match point.
I don't know where Misfits was trying to get in from. They lose a person in Visa and another person on Yellow Stairs. But it didn't seem like they had a cohesive plan to push together and figure out how to take this defense.
Agreed.
Yeah. And
I don't know.
First for second round. So, how we feel about that? Going from top down all the way.
This is one of the, not most, but this is on the multiple side of tertiary sides, I will say, I've seen on a Consulate game, especially in Tier 4. You usually don't see teams with the confidence to be able to try this site out. They usually go there when they are forced off of a site cycle. So that means when they win their basement site and their uppermost site, they will go to this site, and then they'll try out the archives if it doesn't work out, which is an even worse bomb site. But to each their own.
Yeah.
It's very selective, and you need to be able to play it out perfectly. So I like that we've seen both teams really try this out voluntarily without going to the basement first. But still, it is a demanding site. But with Mira and Valk on the board, I'm very interested to see how Misfits will address this, because it looks like the IQ didn't help with the intel last round, and she paid a price within the first 20 seconds of the round previously.
Yeah, that was a little tough. And just the amount of intel that they have on this Overtake side, this just has a lot to deal with.
sense, eh? I'm very interested to see how they'll use it out because they have no hard breacher. They just have the can openers from NZ, and the breach isn't opened up with. It doesn't have head holes on this right side, so they're gonna have to use those can openers, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they use it. Guys, come on. Guys, come on. If you've seen one man lurking the round previous, what makes you think someone else isn't going to do that? Tweety taking damage through that wall. That 417 is going to pack a punch, but not enough to put him in any critical position whatsoever. And 2 picks within the first 40 seconds. Timid getting a refrag, but only because of that Claymore. And this is very bad for Misfits. Their form is being destroyed due to 2 players that won't stop swinging. They're getting a taste of their own medicine at this point. And the man who has 12 kills, the only man with double digits in the server so far, will be taken care of, and everything will slow down while Misfits go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, but, you know, we still have a very established second floor defense right here. They have to figure out where they want to enter from and how they just want to clear out this area.
Oh, this poor guy.
I think they know that Drainy's here.
Oh, this poor guy.
Oh, no.
I see 9 scenarios and only 1 he wins. Yeah, if he equips that buckshot, it'll be fun, but I don't think he has it. Yeah, I don't think anything happens, but I mean, that's a beautiful pinch. You can res your teammate now, and his teammate's completely backed off, so it's beautifully played out here, but the question is, who's going to run it in full speed? You would have expected it for Overtake, but it looks like Snecky is thinking 5 steps ahead. He's going to wait to throw it over the overhang. And the
I like this
while
pinch.
These players get aggressive. Oh, no.
Oh.
This has went from horrible to worse. The case is forced loose outside. C4 is going to break the gas pipe, holding them off for a couple of seconds, but Timid is very low. There are 2 players that know what they're doing and when they want to do it with their aggression and with their time, as they're going to continue to force these mistakes from Misfits, as Rye takes care of that first man and finds the second. Come on! He found 1 quad in the first round. He found another one 5 rounds later, and it looks like Misfits can't hold these 2 players. It is just the Valen and Rye show, as every single round is dominated by a flurry of kills in their favor.
Yeah, and when the kills matter, right, Cino?
Oh my god, I mean, it's consistent too. We were talking about how we didn't see Rye. We didn't see him for a couple of rounds. He comes back with 4 kills.
I don't mind. I don't mind it, Rye. I don't mind it. Just keep on doing it.
Nobody minds it. It's beautiful. But call a timeout. You know what?
I agree.
We're not even earlier in the stages of this game. You need to call a timeout. You need to be able to reset now. We were talking about how sometimes timeouts actually act negatively towards teams without a coach. But in this moment, it would work in their favor, because they are being destroyed on the Intel game, the 1v1 game, and the first pick game. You need to be able to sit back, relax, and say, we need to just mentally reset and go on to concert with a different approach. Now, the benefit of the doubt is they are not on their own turf. They get to go to their own map, which is Cafe, and they are very dominant on it. But with large margins being built up against you, that snowball effect that goes on to Cafe, where you will be defending first against the team that is taking the preferred side, is going to be a hard task to overcome. Now, I'm not saying that's impossible, but there's still so many different things in the checklist that I hope Misfits can address before we get to that second map.
You're totally right, Cino. And, you know, we're just 1 round away from possibly being sent into that Cafe. And we know these Misfit players can shoot back. We know. So we want to enable this, right? And I don't know. Maybe it's the drone game. I don't know. Just don't have the info. But we are in. Sight is right next to you.
Oh, they went for the split this time. They're close to doing a full split of the sites.
Yeah, you have to be careful. This is Sight. This is Sight.
No, but he might be able to actually catch somebody off guard, but I think he's very low, and NZ took damage as well here. Does Ryan know that there's a man knocking on the door? I mean, I feel like when you hear an Ash fully sprinting out, you do. I feel like that destruction of the wall was prep here, but you're only giving away your position. Now, with your teammate coming down to solidify the position of having Sight held out here, that shield position is going to completely fry out Tweety, an easy kill as well, and they've managed to completely open up that Sight. Timid doubling down by taking care of Snecky as well. It is just a superstar to find one, and AX looking to find the next, but he's quickly shot out, and it's a double kill for Timid in a flawless round after a bizarre turn of events. Finally, Misfits are firing back, and they've closed out the deficit to 3.
Misfits was in Overtake's own home, stepping all over their carpet.
You know, that's what I told you. I told you teams don't like going to that site. That is why.
No,
that site is so easy to exploit. Man.
Right, and it's just very open, and there's a lot of ways that you can, you know,
walk on in, stroll on in, whether it be on the first floor or on the basement. And we did see the Ash go to the first floor. Uh, Yikes. We had no intel for, if that was the case. No one was playing in that lobby area. And I don't know. Misfits was just in that.
Yeah, that was quite an interesting round. I really am wondering what the protocol to deny there was. I don't even know if there's a pulse on the board, but usually that is tradition for this site. And they're going to be given a second chance at defending, and it's just going to be on another site here. They have been doing a good job at maintaining a very maintainable distance here, but with Misfits on the attack, I feel like we're going to start seeing some promising rounds here, but this is going to be a very challenging defensive roster to pick apart. Luckily for Misfits, there's no Goyo present.
Yeah, and, they're comfortable on the top floor site as we've seen before. Misfits has to change something up in order for them to, win these rounds. And I think that was a good, little mood booster for Misfits. That was a very smooth, flawless round for them. And hopefully that'll go on to this round. I don't know. I'm hoping to see more coordination from them. And I think I did see that in the last round. So I'm really excited. I really hope that they can take that out.
I just know Evan is at home right now pulling out his hair. I saw him tweaking out earlier in the chat, but that flawless round must give you some hope for your team here. They're showing us all of the initial right ideas, but now they need to be able to do it for 3 more rounds to solidify. That's a street light, my friend. Hopefully NZ finds the camera by that time. I was really wondering what he was looking at there. I'm sending that to him. I don't even care. But, I mean, looks like he gave up on the default cam and now looks to gain access into the building here. And if you guys knew that that 2-break tech of the barricade no longer will exist in the new season, which is going to be a little bit insane.
Oh, no way.
In the meantime, looks to use his smokes to burn out the site here, walks in, but the electrics is going to continue to force that shield off of his hands, and the Shamika's flying in. This man is in the iteration of Siege Hell, but somehow fights out, finds one, and his teammate will find the second. Beautiful from Misfits here to be able to break open that site, a site that you thought was impossible to break open. Beautiful coordination to be able to break it. Ix now on the flank, but a little too late here. And with Snecky trying to help out on that counter defuse, it's just going to be an issue because that plant's going down, whether you like it or not. That A site has fallen, whether you like it or not. The frag is going to try to take damage off of this clash, but it won't work. A 7-man count for this post-plant scenario.
Oh, no.
Rye is going to even it out here, but you still have so much to be done, especially with that man repelled outside. You need to be able to isolate Drainy, being able to win every gunfight he's had so far, but on that shield, you're just not going to be able to find joy. Prism sitting close with that shield, timid on the rappel. It feels like an unwinnable situation here for Overtake sector. It is going to be a disaster, but somehow you need to be able to take your sweet old time, but Timid delivers that final blow. What a round. What a way to open up that gap and hit it. 2 rounds identical to the next, and what a game that has been.
Like you said, that was literally the exact same thing that happened on that split floor site. They just walked on in. Blitz.
Yeah, 2 back-to-back.
Jumped in, sent that. And I'm not trying to say that, it's going to get old and I think Overtake are going to figure it out, but it's been working. And it's been working really well for them.
Defenders, protect your
bombs. It's the beginning of a comeback, Jen. You think?
Ooh, honestly, I want to see it. Overtake's lead is diminishing.
It was a very large margin by that halftime. It was a 4-2 actually. It was pretty simple, but the rounds that followed said 4-2 was just not very good. And I am excited to see what they can do because it looks like Misfits are finally learning how to play against this team in this pressure because each and every player, Overtake plays this game very textbook and they're very good at being able to cap spot. But when you play this game very textbook, you lack adaptability and creativity to be able to address teams that kind of just say, we're going to do what we want to do, and you guys, good luck adapting. And it's kind of what Misfits have been doing. 2 rounds ago, they were in the middle of the site, and now they've managed to do it again by just driving a wedge in between the existing players and forcing them to make mistakes while they pick them off one by one.
Through all of that, just jump right in and start shooting. And I like that take from Misfits. It makes sense with their name. It's very
refreshing.
up to their yeah. It's their speed. And that Amaru and Blitz and Lion. Where do we want to enter from? That's the big question. We're droning into the spiral area. He knows, though.
Having the shield on vending really does help, but it is very far away from your teammates if you get put in a bad situation. Timid going for that full send here, looking to address that flare on the shield, but Valen very easily wins out that gunfight. Twitty falls next as it's refragged out. Blitz hitting the go button yet again. Surely it's not going to be the same round 3 rounds in a row here. Prism has been finding insane gaps so fast here, but it looks like AX is panicking, using those toxic babes to buy him time. And a TK?
What?
Hello? There was no one there, my friend. Crumbled under no pressure at all. AX punishing even further, a 4v2. Prism left at 1 HP here. Disastrous, as now there is nothing left to do except for get very aggressive until you can find those gaps. NZ losing HP. Prism, if he walks into a single tick of that fire, he's going to fall as well here, but AX is now sitting close on that shotgun. Snecky on the flank, no flank watch. This might be disastrous for Misfits, as now they're going to have to fully deal with a powered-up Overtake sector that wants to get aggressive. Prism going down to Rai, and now it's just NZ left by his lonesome to try to get aggressive on yellow here, but everyone's circling. That's game, as finally Overtake section put a pin in it and win on their own map. Constantly goes in their favor.
Beautiful play by Overtake. You know, they were like, no more of this silly stuff. No more of walking into sight. No more of this Blitz. No more of this Amaru. And they shut down that attack really quick.
Very well, honestly, yeah. There's nothing else to say. They did it very well.
Yeah, and first map, even though it was Overtake's map pick, let's get to them. And next, we will see Cafe
for Misfits. That will be their map, where they will start out on the defensive. So the preferred side will not be there. So Overtake sector, beautiful way to start out the game. They can use that momentum to snowball that into the next game, but with the amount of gaps being hit by that shield op, I'm very concerned to see how they'll be able to adapt here. But I'm interested. I'm interested to see what happens by this next round. But we will bring our final thoughts after a swift break. We want to get things done and done faster. So give us a couple of minutes, and by the time we're back, we'll have Cafe on the board for you in probably less than, let's say, 6 or 7 minutes. What's up, guys? I told you we would be back pretty soon. That's exactly what we've managed to do. So if you've missed it, Overtake Sector take the first map due to 2 individual crazy performances backed up by their own teammates. And from here on out, Janet, how are you feeling about the second map?
You know, it is Misfits map, but as you said before, Overtake will be on defense first, and that's the preferred map site for them. So it might be a snowball. I don't know. Only time will tell.
Will it be a snowball? I'm very intrigued to see how it plays out just because of how heavy Misfits tried to bring it back. But you can only substantiate a comeback oh so far when you were the ones down by 4 rounds by a very late stage of the game. So I do hope it becomes better in their favor, and this is their map where they start on the attack? What?
Yeah, I believe
I do
Misfits,
like this.
or Overtake did take defense first, but Misfits, you know their attacks. We've seen, they seem like they're better on attack if they grow.
But this is a predominantly, regardless of team, attack-sided map.
Cafe. Yes,
So I feel like
agree.
maybe Overtake want to get the hard stuff out the way first and then try to bring it back on the attacking side, which it usually does work. Like you'll see that more often in the qualifiers of like elements and show matches and bullshit like that. But it's very, very conditional. You can't let the snowball effect go against you. Otherwise, you can kiss that comeback goodbye. So I'm very interested to see how they'll be able to play this out on the defensive, especially with the amount of chaos Misfits add. They are gap hitters, and they can find them just as fast as they can hit them. You saw how they did it on Consulate. Even being faced with a 6-3 loss, a 6-2 loss, they are just going crazy round in and round out.
Yeah, and I don't know. I want to see them flying in more and getting those rounds. I don't know. I just feel like maybe it's an intel game thing. I don't know, Sino. How do you feel that they can?
I don't feel like
back?
it's. I feel like I don't think it's more intel, and I mean it's intel for everything. That's kind of how the game is. But Misfits in the beginning half of the game was more 5 individuals trying to find a gap, and then near the end they started to find. But even since then, it really hasn't been seen. We've seen something, but it's not good enough to play against a team like Overtake Sector. They need to play their own map to the T. I want to see a 6-0 half here if you guys want to go to that third map with your heads held up high.
I like that, honestly. And, this is playoffs, so after this BO3, you are going to be knocked out if you lose.
Yeah, no lower bracket.
Not at all. No second chances.
Oh, god damn, what is up with C4s in our series? Now,
I don't know.
It's crazy.
Valen
He repels in? Hello? Valen?
What?
Yeah, okay, so Valen gets a very easy kill on the run out, and for some reason that gave ITQC the permission to fly into a window near a shotgun. He'll get blasted and traded out, and somehow we find ourselves in a leveled man count, 3v3. Somehow Misfits find that gap, and they look to approach this mute. Snecky doesn't know anything, gets caught off guard here, and this is what I mean. You can't allow these players to find that gap to hit. An easy refrag for AX, but now the site's been completely opened. An easy plant if you can find it, but they've yet to find that access. Misfits are playing on different frequencies, and you're going to see that evidently because they haven't even opened up the hatches yet. X allowed to take all of site back if he chooses to. As these guys struggle to open up the hatch, he'll be allowed to get very aggressive up close here. He doesn't see that that breach is open. Hello, Timid! You'll get taken care of, but luckily Drini catches it in the last second. Could have been disastrous for Misfits, but somehow they'll be able to take him out at the very last second before he seeks refuge behind that bench, and Overtake Sector very closely lose that last round.
Yeah, I think Valen was feeling kind of hot and, swinging those things. And, that's valid. He got one, got traded out. But, I don't know, they didn't time that bathroom take well. I kind of saw the vision, walking in from,
No.
Christmas.
No.
And
Nope.
flying in from the window. There was a vision there. But the timing was not there.
I don't understand why we are trying to Santa Claus our way into Whitehall. It just never works out. I don't think I have ever seen that work in the history of esports. Maybe Bolo's done it once or twice, but when that's when
Bolo.
No, but that was also when Zofia Withstand was a thing. We're talking about 2 completely different seas of games. And
100%.
I don't even know how they managed to win that round. It's just because their trade game is so good and their ability to be able to find the refrags is so good that they can get away with stuff like that. But Overtake, you guys won the first map. You know how this team plays. Consistent adjustment should be your next thing or your next idea here. But Misfits, the right step in the right direction to be able to approach this.
Yeah, we're gonna be back on the first floor, and looks like we want to do some vert with that ram, but more C4 lineups. Okay, we're just listening for the audio here. Just shoot out a C4, potentially get this ram off the wall.
No, he's gonna toss that shit out the window.
But I don't know. Is he gonna open the window?
Is he?
More to deal with on for
Oh,
Rye
yeah, he
on
will.
this
Oh yeah, he will.
fake side.
Oh, on his head. On his
Oh!
head. Is that Valen or LeBron? An easy kill, but again, refragged out instantly. Stecky finally responding, but Stecky will fall. Valen doubling down. How is he in sight? I2KC timid for 2. What? We were one-man advantaging for Overtake, and now they're the ones in a deficit. The site no longer open, no longer in their possession. AX now is going for a flank, but now is going to be the man that needs to clutch out to get his team on that board, not allow Overtake to fall down by 2 rounds. But with the intel being built up, with the amount of time being taken to just sit back, relax, and say, we're not going to feed you anything, AX is now being put in a little bit of a pickle here. The Zodo is going to prevent anybody from walking aggressively throughout prep, but with those Candelas, it becomes an even bigger problem here. He's going to be able to isolate successfully without taking a single tick of damage. Now, he knows where Timid is, but it will be a game of ring around the rosy until he can get close enough to be able to isolate the one here. Just 5 seconds before you can even call yourself the winner of this round due to the counter defuse time. But Timid, all you need to do is shoot him twice, and you'll be able to do it. But he's not close enough on the angle. The counter defuse comes in, and he'll find it.
What? Oh my god. X on the second round ends up clutching it. Unlike the first round, but it was due to that defuse. It was placed next to the bomb there, and there was no line of sight if he crouched. I believe that wall was open for a vault.
It was bugged. It wasn't big enough. That was like, oh god, like I don't even know where to start.
Timing on that. I
The
didn't
timing
think AX
horrible.
got. I didn't think he even got the defuse like off. Like I thought it was past.
The second I saw him go into small barricade, the round was over because there's no lines of sight. There's not enough intel. They're throwing the intel to watch the crosses and the flanks, not the case itself.
Right.
There's nothing to do there. And with the way they've been playing it out, beautiful to be able to get yourselves back on the board after suffering 2 quick casualties, but still you need to be able to find the substance and get that perfect nail, because I feel like with these types of executes, whatever you do to build up to that post-plant scenario is very important, but none of it will matter if you don't win the round, and none of it will matter if you don't play that post-plant perfectly. The man got isolated in prep, and the man with the DMR was able to run circles around you guys and eventually get a counter defuse off. That's an issue. Now, Overtake somehow getting themselves on the board on a very interesting defensive. If they push for a 4-2 split here, or a 2-4 split where they're down 2 rounds, it is still more than ideal for an attacker-sided Cafe where they get to play on the attack in the second half.
Yeah, I agree. Misfits needs to get some of these rounds up for a confident defense round. Keep it as half, actually. But setting up onto this Cafe side. Bless you.
Oh. Bless you, Rennie.
You ready? That was our observer.
She didn't hear that. They can't hear it. They can't hear it, but they... She unmuted just to sneeze. Nice. Type of person our OBS is, guys. Yeah, nice. Helps us out on a Tuesday and decides to start sneezing. Cheers, Rennie. Now, Timid. Yeah, no, I can't believe you just did that. Timid.
I thought it was you. My bad.
I thought it was also me. I don't know. I didn't feel like sneezing. I also thought I sneezed for a second. But Timid's ability to get the refrag ability has been very well. Let's see if he can be able to do it yet again. I2KC opening it up. This man has been absolutely lethal on finding kills as well. But again, this game feels more Call of Duty than anything else. It's just trade on trade on trade. Somehow, Misfits walk out of it with a man up here as they open up that full 3rd floor. Nobody's up there. And now it'll be a 3v4, 90 seconds left, and let's see how Overtake will be able to address this with no case in hand.
Yeah, they We're gonna try to find.
Oh, he shot it.
Yeah, he doesn't even toss it through the hole. I don't know, but Snecky wants to go for a flank here. But shooting at the Gridlocks, they know that he's gonna be walking up. That he wants to walk up.
Oh no,
Ooh.
it's disastrous.
Deimos
With
on the
Deimos is
vert.
on the board. Yeah, it's just it's so
Oh.
crucial. But usually you want to double down with that Sledge as well. But Sledge is going
Yes.
to be working in parallel with the Deimos, which means you won't already have the pre-made vert holes, so Deimos is just going to have to get lucky with the floor bang ability. Timid hitting a frost mat at that minute mark. The luck couldn't have gotten any worse because that means he's going to be immobilized until the end of the round. You're going to be hearing blood screaming everywhere, and to make matters worse, Snecky taking care of Timid on the external pressure as well makes this so much worse. Mining site is essential for verticality and that external control, and right now they only had one of them, and even that's gonna be given up because I2QC needs to put his boots on the ground to help out his teammates here. You only have half a minute to get this right, and at an even man count with 3 players who have no intention of swinging anytime soon, you'll be able to hit a gap very well. But you didn't find that man in the corner. He'll exploit. Muted. We'll go down, and then an easy refrag for I2QC. But a 1v2, the case not in hand. It needs to be gunfights here. Now the Scopos looking to isolate the gunfight on the first man on Mining, but Drainy rises to the task. And after a flurry of kills, somehow Misfits walk out of it ahead.
They did have the man advantage there, but it went from, you know, stepping into that frost mat to getting fried on the window. But I don't know, they claw it back. Misfits gets that attack round. And like we said before, we want Misfits to get these attack rounds before site swaps over. And
I feel like
Overtake
I'm
has-
overwhelmed.
Yeah, I honestly I don't even know what's happening because they're just literally just shooting at each other. Like
Yeah, there is no utility
they're
game.
literally they're just shooting at each other. They're walking in and shooting at each other. And honestly, sorry guys, that's all I got. That's all I got.
No sorry is needed because that is what it is. It is straight shooting and hoping for the best. There is no utility being played out
Yeah.
here. And honestly, it's not a bad thing, but it's not a good thing. Like, it's
No.
just speaking to the styles of play here. Overtake Sector are just, God, I keep messing up on that. It's such a, sometimes it's
It's
such
a
a mouthful.
long. It's a long.
It's a long name. But
It's a
Overtake,
long name.
Overtake are very good at just matching the tempo of Misfits, but when you guys are just matching the tempo, whenever anything hits the fan, you guys are put in a bad spot where you either have to decide, are we going to continue to match the tempo by swinging, or are we going to do what we did on Consulate and play slow, the utility game, and force the mistakes from Misfits? Because it looks like they're on the fence of
Right.
doing either.
10 seconds to
But I
insertion.
feel like whatever team calls that timeout first might have the upper hand going into the second half of the series as we approach the halfway of this game on the attacking half of
Locate and
Misfits.
defuse a bomb.
And I just want to point out, I think last 3 rounds, it's been a 1v2 or Overtake
Is he spawn peek?
at the very end.
God.
Ooh.
I mean, that needs to be called out. There was the call that he was spawn peeking, but nobody's able to convert in time. And that really is going to be the thorn in the side because now your flank watch is at 1 HP and having Valen run out here with a
Valen.
shotgun. Very interesting idea. I don't know, you're going to snipe him with that shotgun at that range. Don't really know, but doesn't work out in his favor. Pulse goes down very easy, and Timid's going to continue to just wait outside and force these mistakes per each player. As this clock continues
Zeno.
to run down. Misfits are looking for something.
I'm kind of worried because, you know, like, we were talking about that Yuto game, and it's not really present throughout this whole game, and Valen goes down, that's the pulse. That's the heartbeat scanner.
That is concerning. That is very concerning. And also, I feel like that man being taken care of is an issue, but I feel like not seeing anything from Ryan Tweedy this far into the game becomes even worse. And as I say that, Caster's Curse actually works for the better. If he'll take care of ITKC, and if we're talking about players who haven't been able to find joy, Prism, if I'm not mistaken, is the captain of this team, needs to be able to find something. He was doing a good job on Constant, needs to be able to convert now because he is needed to maintain this lead on the board here. But it looks like Overtake are looking to get aggressive to hold these players off of advancing throughout White.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
making
no.
their way towards this bathroom area, but he's
Yeah,
stuck
no, it's
here.
disastrous. It's disastrous.
No.
Wow, it just crumbles everywhere. Timid baiting for his second kill of the round. The 2 kills of this round have been off of an easy exploit of a run out, and the second one, the same thing as well. But the third time is just not going to work out in your favor, Timid. You can only get so many kills. You'll be forced out through the mistake, and now finally Overtake get themselves on the board yet again. If I'm not mistaken, this is going to be a very close game because the team that usually goes tied up on Cafe is going to have a very hard time on that defensive.
Yeah, 100% agreed. For the first time, you know, it wasn't a 2v1 for for the
Finally.
Misfits. Yeah, I I don't know. Like the white hallway kind of aggressive push doesn't really work out in your favor because honestly, you're the person that's pushing up. They can just swing and off of sound and fry you on the hallway. I wanted to see more
Attackers need to
util or
locate
someone,
and defuse
you
the
know,
remaining
helping,
bombs.
assisting
Don't we
on
all?
like the white side.
No, we all. No, we all want to see more
See,
Yuto.
Tito's tired of the lack of
I
util,
just want
guys.
to. I just want to see a good play. I feel like the best round we saw with Yuto was that Ying on the bakery site. But I mean, or not the bakery
Yeah.
site. Wow, I've lost my mind. The kitchen site. But
Yeah.
after she lost her life in bakery, counter defuse, man. Really? Like, come on. I genuinely thought that was the worst case scenario. There was like 2 milliseconds that he had to hold that player off of that counter defuse before
Right.
the time would have expired, and he just didn't get it. So, an interesting enough round, and now Misfits are tying it up. Now, there are the rare cases where Cafe becomes defender-sided due to the amount of gunfights being taken, and that might be the special circumstance. But Overtake sector, the second they get onto that preferred side, if I were to have to predict what's going to happen, they're going to take this to the most textbook style of Cafe, use every piece of utility to their favor, and start out every
Right.
single mistake from Misfits. All they're trying to do right now is just hold out. If they lose the next 2 rounds, it works out in their favor because a 4-2 split is very ideal for the defensive half of Cafe.
I agree, and they're getting so aggressive every single round. Spawn peek, run out, you name it. And no one falls this time. Although Tweety and Timid are a little tagged up.
Nobody occupying Cigar here. Now, the uppermost floor won't be held out by Inazami, surprisingly, even though she's on the board here. Looks like Misfits opted for that Clash and Malusi instead, so with the Fenrir Azami duo, you would have thought they'd be able to hold this down and not get in the way of anything, but they'll prioritize that Mira, and they won't be playing her on the bathroom side. They will be playing her on the bathroom side, but not the traditional side where it's 2 Miras adjacent to each other, but now they're
Right.
directly next to each other, which becomes a little bit more concerning because it's easier to find gaps. But as one man will fall, an easy refrag yet again here in Prism, looking for a gap to hit, and will find it. Somehow he's in the middle of the site, but the C4 takes care of the man who is playing his Guardian Angel on that window. The Fna blinds NZ. He can't see, but he's taking heavy damage. Prism doubling down by finding that next man, draining onto Snecky, and Ikes it again in a 1v2, Jen. It feels like a curse that just can't be broken. Consistently 1v2s throughout this game. This is the 4th, if I'm not mistaken, or the 3rd. That plant's going down. Whether this player likes it or not, it's temporarily a 1v1, but as that shield is going to put down that plant, it's going to be back to full power. Ix isolating. Can you find your second clutch? Can you find it? This time, you have a player standing in between you and that counter defuse, and you'll find him!
Oh!
AX, no way! You'll claim the
Oh
lead.
my
You'll teabag and
God.
shoot. Go crazy as it's deserved. Overtake sector are now going to break the deadlock and take the lead on a defensive side at Cafe. This is insane.
It's on his second
Welcome to Earth
clutch
Prism.
round. Oh my gosh. Not to, you know, obviously Overtake took that round, but Prism walked right in, took so much space, and took down, I believe, like 3 players with him. And, you know, at that point, it's like, it's on the other teammates. Blackbeard did his job, but teammates were not there to support him. And X takes another clutch round for himself.
This is unreal. This is just so unreal. I've never seen such an individual performance. This is honestly, I don't even know. I don't know how to feel because game in, game out, it is an individual performance for each and every player on this team. You had Rai last game with double quad kills, even though it was very, very far-fetched between either side. It's like 4 rounds in between, and then you had, who was it? Valen going nuclear last game. That man was unstoppable. And now, the time has come for AX as he is destroying anybody in his pathway. Now, 3-2. They have exceeded the expectations of a Cafe attack, and now all they have to do is win this round, and a 4-2 split in their favor might be a dream if they can attack correctly on this map.
100% agree, and Misfits are not looking very good. You want those attack rounds, especially on Cafe. And we expected Misfits to do well on this attack.
Run
Now
out.
we're gonna get aggressive again.
What?
Get him! With the
That might be the
CZ.
worst. Yeah, I know. That might be
With
the
the
worst
CZ.
secondary. Yeah, I know. The C75 is
No.
the worst secondary run out in the game, and he hits it. And it's actually funny enough that he does it, because next season it's getting a buff where it'll be further away from you. So it'll be like,
Yes,
the
the
ADS
ADS
will be
buff.
much smaller. It's going to be so broken next year. Or next, yeah, it counts as next year. But,
Yeah, but Rye's already on that tag.
wow. He wants to learn early, and the fact that you've taken care of Brava as well with the amount of utility you continue to bring. Now, this round might not be as consistent with that trend, but still, a first pick is a first pick in Overtake sector. They're floating.
Yeah,
Again? No, okay. I would have lost my
Nice.
mind if you found the second. The plant's going
my
down.
Goodness.
Janet, why is the plant going down? What is happening? They're going to deny the man going for the plant, successfully going down. In a turn of events, Ix doubles down, takes care of Drainy. What is happening today? The C4 going to be misused because not a single player on Overtake knows where this is happening. They're going to have to turn their focus onto the site. Now they'll have to keep us to block off the windows. No DMRs unless it'll be on that window. The shotgun to the teeth of NZ is now going to have Timid on the back heel. And the counter defuse is going to go. Are you going to be able to find it in time? You'll shut him out, Timid. A continuous game of Ring Around the Rosie. Just play keep away these players. They can't get close enough. He'll find the second. Is this the craziest post plant we've seen all day? 7 seconds left and they've won it. There's no more time to get on the case even if they find the kill. Are you serious?
Timid! Cleaning up those players. What?
What? No. Nice. Okay, so we're are we serious? What is happening? We're getting calls from the future that I was told to shut up by Rye that the C75 is not the worst secondary in the game, which not what I said, bucko, that was Janet. And Demon Pig, the GOAT, is in chat. Everything is all crumbling down. Mr. Monty Skyscraper himself. That might have been the craziest post plant I've ever seen.
Wow. Wow. I don't think anyone expected, first of all, the plant to go down. And Amaru not only getting a plant down, but also holding off that post plant perfectly.
Timid, you absolute goat. Wow. I know Evan somewhere at home doing jumping jacks right now, jumping with joy that they won that round. That is genuinely the most unwinnable round ever. Like, ever.
No, I agree. That was
Wow.
that was like a Doctor Strange, like 1 out of 1 million type shit. Oops.
And, the great thing about being on zero delay, because our observers are the ones on the delay, we can interact with chat real time. He said, and I quote, "I'm quite the opposite. I've been depressed. We've sold like 6 rounds between 2 maps to this team." Hey, buddy, call a timeout and coach them. I don't care if you're on vacation. There's passion and there's passion. And right now, you're showing the worst version of passion. Tisk,
Different,
tisk, my
you're
friend.
in the chat. You can be in the call.
Bang!
Yup. But this is a great note to start off.
Wow,
Defense
he's
for
a
Misfits.
cocky guy, If I'm there, it's unironically a 2-0 sweep, 14 and 5 round count.
Okay, but you're not. So.
But yeah, exactly.
I
You're
don't
not,
know.
and now you're facing elimination from the playoffs because now Overtake is on the attacking with a 3-all split. I know I don't have to explain to you why this is disastrous for a team like Misfits on an attacker-sided map. Like, I can tell you exactly how this round's going to play out here. They're going to either recognize there's no gaps to hit in VIP, rotate over to Smallbake and use the Aura to block off the double barricade and funnel in from there, or they'll switch it up mid-round if they lose a body first and completely mess up with you guys on that vert. But as they'll find first pick onto the man sitting close, the heroics from Timid last round are not going to convert to this one. And would you look at that, Janet? They're doing exactly what I said they're going to. Drainy finding one, NZ taking care of the next, but Snecky doubles down. 40 seconds in, 5 bodies lost, and none of them are in the favor of Misfits, just 1. But it was before they opened up the complete site. ITQC below 50 HP, a full blind. C4 will fully connect. Gridlock losing her life, and there's no way we see 2 clutches back to back. At the range, can't shut it out. The case is now forced loose in the middle of the hallway, and there's no way in hell he'll be able to find this. They're a ways away from playing like a team, so Ix is forced to scramble down red and help out his teammate, but ITQC hears this audio and is able to isolate here, looks to swing him, but he'll have that easy angle. It's DMR v DMR, but it's also Pixel v Pixel. And it's going to be Overtake to take that lead. And Misfits very close to being able to reel that back in.
Yeah, I don't know. Early pick off on Tweety, or Timid, our previous superstar. But I don't know.
See the superstar part.
Yeah, the superstar. We'll be going to third floor. And I don't know. Things just have to look better for Misfits. They need to identify, where they can come in from.
Defenders, protect your bombs from
Where they're
being
weak.
used by attackers.
I don't even know what to say anymore. I genuinely am just lost. You know what? I'm going to give both teams the benefit of the doubt and just say it's time for them to start locking in because yet no timeout in 2 maps. Like, the first map ended out 7-4. Now, if we do quick maths, which I'm not very good at, that's 19 rounds and not a single timeout has been called. Oh, damn. Nice. You just said, Sino, don't call this easy the worst. Yeah, no. Yeah, okay. All right, buddy. All right. All right. You guys have the lead. I'm not going to say anything. You guys have fun. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, and they're on attack now. They can easily win this out. I think, Sino. And I'm kind of scared.
As well. Because you see
I'm
how
kind of scared.
I'm not, because you see how they've switched it. I mean, there are teams that can do this, and there's teams that are very good at doing this. They're very good at switching the tempo. They are now playing on their own game.
Yes.
Before it was just playing keep up with Misfits, and they did it beautifully, and they even managed to get a tie. Now
100%.
they're playing this map so textbook. Funnel in with the Aurora barricade and flood out of sight because you forced 2 first picks. You know how easy that is to be able to break open? All they're doing is looking for a first pick, looking for the external play, and when they find it, they'll hit that gap until there's nothing left to hit. And that's how you play Cafe, and I feel like Misfits are now starting to learn how Overtake's going to play on this.
Yeah, and we're going to see the Misfits kind of alter their gameplay. And, they play so aggressive, but I don't know, the fights are kind of not coming to them. They're getting it brought to them.
I'm excited. You know why I'm excited? Because something always happens. This might be the most eventful series I've ever casted in my short career. Because why is there a double, triple kill or a counter defuse happening every round? It is insane to me.
I don't know. It's every other round. I swear to God.
That timid clutch is the craziest thing I've seen all day. And I was watching a Your game before this. I got to see an interview from Jay Guns. Trust me, I've seen crazier. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know what explosive that was. Our operator cards are closed out, so we can't see. But yeah, it was a nade as IQ has none left. One was used on that close angle. The second one was used far. IQC capitalizing by taking care of Ryan. Now he's opened up all of easy access for his team to be able to play freely around Cigar and Shaiko. You can take your sweet old time without having to worry about being played from below. And all you have to do is hold on to this lead. You're on the defense. Run the clock out. There's only a minute left.
Yeah, and taking out Rye, that's a lot of your util gone. And
Agreed.
I think they wanted to go for that, smoke plant or fire off these crucial spots that.
Come on.
Ooh. And I don't know. You have to clear out this bathroom area, guys. There's a
That's
guy
the pain
literally
of not
playing
banning
there.
her. That's the reason why you ban Mira and you try to rely on them bringing a zombie and bring that DMR, because it's so much easier to break the Kibas with a DMR rather than have to rely on really breaking those Miras out. But as they look to try to help out, Habana looking to open up that single breach to force out any mistakes from that Mira that's playing in bathroom, but that man sitting on Sui is going to be taken out, which means now she can freely open this up. But as Mira is going to get very aggressive, she'll shut the Habana out. Prism, that's such a worthy trade. Even though you've lost HP, that bridge can no longer be open, and you can play on this mirror freely for the remainder of the round. There's only 5 seconds until they enter that red time, and as they're being picked apart one by one, the last man standing is on the lowest HP among them all. He'll manage to shut out Timid, but still, there's a 2-way cross being held, and there's no way they lose it. IGQC goes down, and he'll be running in the middle of the site like a headless chicken. Misfits managed to find it at the last second. Oh, thank God they can recover it, as that deficit would have been too far to come back from, and they'll be forced to another deadlock.
Wow, I think they played that mirror really well. I don't know, like, they were just playing Ring Around a Rosie inside the mirror, going into Freezer, going over into the Christmas area.
That
Getting
deciding
those
factor
angles is
the
really
deciding
important.
factor, yeah. The deciding factor was getting those angles. and the fact
Yeah.
that they managed to really get aggressive, that aggression onto the player on piano won them the round. Losing that heart breacher
know.
just, it screws you
Dude,
over long
that
term.
was a crazy shot. I'm not gonna even lie.
And he did it twice, by the way. He did it multiple times.
Yes.
What a win.
Goodness. That brings the Misfits
Bomb
back.
located by attackers.
4-4. You know, it's still not looking, the best, just because, you want. Wait, is this cafe now defender sided? Is this cafe defender sided, Cena?
You mean this game specifically, or like in general?
This game.
No, not close. No,
This game is not defender sided.
This game isn't anything. This game textbook will be. This game textbook is going to be an attacker-sided game, but usually
Yeah,
it is
I agree.
Attacker-sided. It should be attacker-sided. The
It
attacking
should
side
be, but
should be, but this game has been more individual than it has been anything else, and I feel like that is
100%.
it's more the deciding factor. You can't really say one game
100%.
is doing this more than that, just because both of these teams are relying on individual play. Overtake sector less than Misfits, because we have seen their consistent plays of trying to play like a unit, but when you see them suffer a first pick or two first picks, they're forced to get creative, and honestly that's what you can expect. But Misfits right from the get-go will consistently get aggressive.
And
Whoa,
on that
did you see that
pulse,
tech?
ooh.
Did you see that tech? He had it pre-placed close on the door, so if Blitz decides to rush in, he'll just get C4'd.
Oh, I see.
Is he gonna fall for it?
He has the intel for it. I don't think they know.
No, my God, there's no way. This might be the
What?
smartest play of the day. And he manages to escape it. The flash,
No.
it hits. He'll find one, but an instant trade. But that's now opened up all of mining and train. Prism recovering and going back to site because he's gotten his one. He's managed to get that refrag. That was beautifully played by either side. I don't know how that C4 didn't kill him.
No,
But you're back
for
to a leveled
sure.
man count with just 1 minute 45 on the clock.
He was literally not even facing towards the C4 right
He was like,
there. I don't
he was
know
like 4
how.
centimeters away from it. Yeah, no, I don't even know.
Yeah. Unfortunately, both Pulse and the Blitz are gonna die, and Ryan's gonna pick out Timid. Timid was not very timid on that jump out.
If you guys are wondering why he
die.
was hip aiming, he was hip aiming because of that new change. It's not very new.
Yep,
It's 5 months
you
old.
can't-
When you hop out of Windows, you
Can't
can't ADS.
ADS anymore.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It's hard. And Timid, you were not really gonna win that fight. I'm not sure why. When you have even
Oh
advantage.
no! Oh no! Oh no! It's now we're starting to see endurance start to catch up with this team. It's crumbling, one by one, mistake by mistake. You're seeing them be pinched out. As you can see, everything is going to come full circle. Yes, you can get very aggressive, but can you convert that onto paper? So far, yes, but you've lost the first map, and now you're on track to lose the second. Overtake, that's a cohesive round. They sniffed out every single piece of opportunity and have found success, even though if they've lost some bodies along the way. It's all about that end product, and that is eventually that 5-4 on the board as they'll enter in those final bands of the game and maybe of the series.
Yeah. AX are just sniffing out these players, to be honest. Really well played on this cafe map by AX. Not just the clutches, but last round. Finding those last few players.
Defenders, protect your bombs from
I'm
being
very
used by
curious to
attackers.
see how this played out, because if you remember, not
Yeah.
too long ago, everybody got massacred in this site. I predicted something, and it happened, but accelerated times 20. Absolutely nothing to do here, and I really hope that Overtake can maintain a lead and establish that match point solely because they deserve it. If we're to go to overtime, it is very beautiful. Sadly enough, we're not in overtime for our mental sake, but there's no infinite overtime. But for Misfits,
No,
they
no.
need either an OT win or they need to close this out in regulation.
10
Yeah,
seconds.
and I just want to say that no Aurora coming out this time. I think they're going to do a default
5
top-down
seconds left
take
before insertion.
for, the attack side.
Attackers'
And
objective is to
I like
locate
that
a bomb
switching
and
up the
defuse it.
speed. They went really fast that first round, but this time they're gonna take their time.
Dejevin's hating in this chat, and it is so funny to see. I said it's deserved, he said not deserved. Hilarious. He is not happy. Honestly, I wouldn't be happy as well if my team was down on their map. This is that game that you need to win regardless. I mean, it was Chaka and I, we were excited to see what Misfits would bring just because of how well they played last week, Janet. They genuinely were reformed, but I feel like the Jevin going on the Jevin going on vacation really screwed the pooch.
No
yeah,
time.
it was pretty
There's
bad.
no
I don't know
time
how
for
you
you.
Americans work out Thanksgiving, but that really skewed the flow of this team. Yeah, you're indeed. You're currently on map 3 of E6.
Oh, we're locked for E6.
Now, Overtake, one man is 2 kills away from breaking 20, by the way. I don't know if we realized this.
Yeah, and you know, he didn't have a loud showing on Consulate, but
Yeah.
on Cafe, again and again, every round. I think he's
This is
had
his
a
scrim.
major round.
This is his scrim.
Yes.
What? Where'd he find that?
Where?
He wallbanged him? Oh, no, Timid.
No.
Timid has had 2 very influential rounds where
Through
he's the
that
sole
freezer
reason that Hay
wall?
won, but now, yeah, I mean, the hatch is open, you
No.
had the mute up there, and now losing that player that was sitting in deep kitchen, this makes it so much harder because now they don't need to bring any can openers, they don't need to do anything. They have the can openers and they can save them for whatever the hell they want. The verticality is being established. There's a one-man advantage. You guys think this isn't too large, but when you factor in everything that Overtake can exploit and take, this is going to amount, and a lot of pressure is going to be on the heads and shoulders of Misfits.
Yeah, and they do have those Goyos and smoke canisters for, you know, when they decide to go for this plant, and it's 50 seconds on the clock. This might be good for Misfits if they can play this util correctly.
Pause the gadget. Tweety knows he needs to get this breach over, and he knows that he has that man advantage, so he can be 10 times more risky here. Now, I2QC standing on the benches is going to be at an odd angle, and having NZ close range will mean a 3-2-1, but they're going to rely instead on popping that flame and leaving I2QC because this DMR can pack a punch if you can isolate, but he won't even get the first man off. Rai loses a good chunk of HP, and now that next barricade is going to be the man in coat. The man knows everything, no matter where it's happening. It looks like they're hungry for that match point. Flames everywhere. They won't be able to deny. NZ finds one, but it means nothing when everything is crumbling. Overtake exposing every single flaw in the defensive, and now they'll advance onto the match point of the series and the map.
Sino, I was so upset that I don't know who was at the mute sitting in the fucking whiskey bar. Why did he leave? They couldn't double swing that.
They could have called it
Like-
back because of the pressure of vertical.
I guess so, but I don't know. Overtake, you know, abusing those double swings like we saw on VIP. Misfits, I haven't seen any coordination, really. I'm sorry.
On
but
this map, yeah. I feel like it was more
Yeah,
evident
for
on the
sure.
first than it was the second.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I don't know. Again, highlighting the individual plays, like you can see AX, you know, he didn't get a kill last round, but you know, he's just playing so well. And I don't know, Misfits, no one's really stepping up. No one's really swinging together. So I don't know. It makes sense that it's a 6-4 for Overtake now.
I am disappointed because it was a 7-2 the last time I spectated these guys.
10
And
seconds remaining.
yeah, there is a player missing, but it just that doesn't substantiate an
Right.
excuse. You need to be able to keep your highest head held forward to be able to advance on. And with these players, I know there's individual talent to be able to pull themselves across the
100%.
finish line.
100%.
But when you are allowing individual players to go insane, mix that in with the cohesive unit of Overtake, you're just not winning. You're not winning.
You're in
AX
for a treat.
Yeah, Valen, AX, and Rai, they have been doing numbers. Now, Valen isn't so hot on Cafe, but 6 kills still gets the job done. And he broke double digits on Consulate. He's done the job already. They're playing on the opposite map, and I mean, I feel like the biggest decision that they made was starting out on the defensive first. He doesn't run out, right? No.
Timid, no. Yeah, okay.
Well, I kind of skipped a beat.
Yeah, but me too, Sino. Me too.
I would have
Oh
put it
my
past him after that those couple of rounds.
X just doing some work on that Brava drone. And it's util.
Now, one player, if I'm not mistaken, it will be the Aruni, who's going to consistently stay on that off angle. I2QC and like hopping on things is like his favorite thing. He did it
Yeah.
on Christmas last round, and now he'll be doing it in
Yes.
Cocktail. They need the kills up here. If they lose the third floor control with more than a minute left on the clock, this game's over.
100%. Honestly, he only has a BP to support him. And Overtake is slowly walking in.
Feel that pressure starting to amount, and with the hacking of all of these F-Nauts as well, it's starting to all lean towards the favor of Overtake. They have all of that utility in their hands, and as Drainey finds Rye, this is the perfect scenario. Tweety is going to be halted by the F-Naut, which means he's going to be forced to isolate. ITQC wins the next onto Snecky, but Tweety fires back instantly. Just a minute 10 left on the clock here. Are they aware of Drainey on white here? Nothing to help out. He's going to have to go for that flank because there's no gridlock on the board. She's now downed. He's going to whiff, but finally find that kill. Minute left. The bodies have now doubled against Overtake, and finally Misfits are firing back. Can they push this that full mile to go on to overtime? Valen is easily able to retrieve that case, and if there's two players I'd want to clutch, it would be these two. Aix with a wallbang onto Drainey. One shy away from breaking 20. Valen doubles down onto NZ. 40 seconds left, and it's starting to become a lot harder for Misfits to bring this back. They were gifted that 4v2, but now it's become a tall order on, can we be able to isolate and win the game?
Does Prism want to walk up here and retake Vert like his teammate did?
There's no tracks thing.
I don't
think
know.
He has to. It looks like they're just going to go for the site. I feel like they know that there's somebody there, but they're going to be aware of every single corner here. Prism doesn't have a rotate, so he's going to have to give up his position. That'll be one of his final Toxic Babes, but Aix breaks 20 and takes the head off of Timid. Prism gives up his location, deals some damage, but nothing to put anybody into a critical situation. In a DMR versus an SMG-11 at that range closes it out. That's game, as you finally have crowned your first victors of the quarterfinals, as Overtake Sector have now eliminated Misfits.
Misfits go down to Overtake, you know. Wow, that was a very dominant game, honestly. In just terms of cohesiveness, I would say they just look better. And I don't know. That is it for Misfits for the rest of playoffs. Overtake will go on into next game. But wow.
I mean, I'm trying to get it pulled up
I
right now.
feel like everything was like a clutch.
Yeah, that might have been the
Every
most
single
Call
round was
of
a
Duty
clutch.
series ever. That was the fastest BO3. Jeez Louise, man. I'm trying to get the bracket set up. I think it should work.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh,
Bang.
we're on to the bracket, guys.
So the winner of Pack Runners versus U.S. Army Esports is going to play
Yes.
Overtake Sector, and if I were to have to predict, it would be Pack Runners, considering it's Pack Runners. And then Outlast Black versus 2XC, most likely going to be Outlast, and then NXG Gold and Daystar Rising, that's going to be a game that goes map 3, and I'm very curious to see how that ends up. But Misfits, not what I was expecting at all, and I feel like not having one of your key players does consistently destroy your mental when it comes to approaching this game, and we saw that evidently. It was just not working out, and sadly enough, there's no second chances. There's no lower bracket. We are not in Swiss anymore. You guys were gifted one chance to shut it out, and it was done. And what a game by Overtake to be able to just take it on home. 20 bombs, 1v4s, counter defuses. It was a game and multiple games and rounds to really remember. So I'm excited to see what they have for the upcoming games. I'm actually going to go out of my way to cast them a little bit more.
Super lovely. And, you know, BO3s, anything can happen. I hope that, you know, there will be full-on 3 maps for the rest of the games. And that was our very first quarterfinal game, and there will be more streamed on Sino Twitch, I believe.
Where you guys are watching right
next
now.
upcoming dates.
Hey.
Yes. So be on the lookout for that, and yeah.
If you don't have any final thoughts, Janet, we've been your casters. I'm Sino. That is Janet. Say thank you to Janet for very, very coming in clutch today, be able to help me out. We've had Rennie on the observing side as well. And this is a hectic week. We usually only do 1 cast a week. We have 6 games lined up. We have 1 today.
That's crazy.
We have a quarterfinal for another league tomorrow, and then Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday are all the quarterfinals for this league. So make sure to stay tuned and be able to, turn on the notifications of a follow if you guys do want to watch those games. But other than that, we don't want to be able to hold up your night. Rye, IX, and who was the third? Who was that? Valen.
Valen.
Absolutely
Yes.
disgusting players. Wow, I actually just want to say absolute cinema. 20 bombs on the regular. Clutch is absolutely insane. But have a great night, guys. Follow if you enjoyed. DM me if you can tell me what we can do to improve. We're always open for feedback. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you guys in the next one.